a topic today that has been going around on Twitter. Dig a hole in the yard, but Dad says he can't. Well, unfortunately it is his property, so you do kind of have to listen to him. But yeah, the topic that I wanted to discuss is a bit of discourse that I found on Twitter. I cannot locate the original tweet, possibly because the person took it down. But this is a piece that clearly Zelda is nonplussed about. But yeah, this person here today, no, not today, and on the 3rd at 2:23 p.m. said, "The golden age of TTRPGs is dead. We are watching a bright and special time in the TTRPG industry pass away before our eyes. Around the start of the 2010s, we saw a new golden age of tabletop role-playing games." Hi, Cat Lofi, thank you for lurking. Can I get a shout out for Cat Lofi, please? As a is my model artist. Hope you're having a good day and that you're recovering from the ickiness. Far too much, be less wordy? No. Let's see. Around the start of the 2010s, we saw the dawn of a golden new age of tabletop role-playing games. Is this a fucking leftist meme? There's so many words. Since then, huge numbers of new players have found the hobby thanks to Stranger Things and actual plays like Critical Role. Came to be nosy? Yeah. We're having some discourse about whether or not RPGs are dead. There was the D20 Fantasy family of games dominated by D&D 5e, but rich with other games published under the OGL and the fertile depths of the old-school Renaissance. There were other mainstream publishers with storied brands such as Call of Cthulhu, Deadlands, and Shadowrun. Lastly, there was a flourishing indie TTRPG scene that revolutionized what a TTRPG was, such as Apocalypse World. I've never seen it, but yeah, y'all really are just absolute catastrophe. This influx of gamers created a rising tide that lifted all boats. Novice gamers started out playing D&D 5e, yes, but went on to discover other great games. Because of the open gaming license, countless companies and designers could make money creating for D&D 5e. Because of the increasing number of games, even strange, freaky, or weird TTRPGs could find an audience. Have you ever heard of Apollo 47 Technical Manual, the RPG? No. But recent developments make clear that this radiant golden age is ending, as surely as the steam engine ended the age of sail, or hobbits bearing a ring ended the third age of Middle-earth. Good gods, this is pretentious nonsense. The doom of our time approaches. In the wake of the open gaming license scandal of the past winter, a number of companies have successfully launched new TTRPGs, intended to move them past the possibility of Wizards of the Coast ever threatening their business ever again. Too many uses of ever. We've got ever here and ever here. This is bad writing. Some of the games grossed millions in crowdfunding campaigns. All have been positively reviewed. Some cite the success of these games, which are intended to replace 5e OGL content for the companies involved, as signs of the continued health of and growth of the TTRPG industry. They are not. Rather, they are signs that the industry has peaked and may be about to enter a decline. Motherfucker really saw leftist memes and thought that he could pull it off. He was like, no, I can do better. I can do more. This is fucking Eye of Argon levels of writing. Why? After the open gaming license crisis of 2023, I became pessimistic about the damage the attempt to kill the OGL had done to our lobby. Fucking, like, lo-fi Aries here, really setting the theme for tragedy. Thank you for the... thank you for that, Valtry. This is not my writing, though, so save your throws for the person who wrote this. Others told me that the result of the crisis would be the blooming of 1,000 flowers. Discouraged from... This is literally just him, like, rewording the exact same piece, like, up here. Just again. This is redundant writing. Discouraged from using 5e by the Wizards of the Coast attempt to kill the OGL, we would get all these amazing new TTRPGs. Maybe every single one of these TTRPGs is going to be amazing. Maybe every one will be so fun and so captivating that lawns will go unmowed, pets unfed, and diapers unchanged because we were all so busy playing one of those games. This is literally just, yeah, way to poison the well right here. Am I using that term right? You're here. This person is just like preparing to like set up the, you know, for the, like, they've telegraphed their next piece so hard they might as well be a fucking anime villain. Man has nothing to contribute other than needless fear-mongering. Right? Write some flowery BS when I see me do this again. Hey Ragnar, how you doing? Long time no see. Glad that glad you're feeling up to jumping in. Hello, Jamie. How you doing? Speaking of people who would shit on bad writing, we're reading this person's white boy whining about how D&D is no longer the biggest tree in the forest, and writing for the fucking SEO engine, right? The problem is the TTRPG business is devilishly difficult. Only rarely does the creation of a phenomenal game actually lead to financial success. Hello, the one ponytail. How you doing? The death of the OGL. So,
thank you for being a good little
oh my
sub.
goodness, Val, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. That's really sweet of you. Briley, Amber, Latara, We Love the King, Tismius, and a Blue Lobster. I didn't even know we had a Blue Lobster as a follower. We got all the content creators here. Yeah, how you doing, Ponytail? And how are you liking this nonsense, Jamie? So literally, it's been the scandal, it's been the demise, it's been the death of the TTRPG, of the OGL rather. The creation of these games has fundamentally changed the industry in such a way that it will be harder for those companies to make money in the future.
Thank you for being
Why?
a good little...
A difficult business is about to become more difficult. Consider the state of the industry. A mere 18 months ago, countless publishers from MCDM and Kobold Press to Wizards of the Coast were all making 5e material. It was easy to purchase products from multiple publishers, because if you were running 5e, you could use the work of all these companies at your table, made it easier for companies to share customers. The new TTRPGs birthed by the OGL crisis are about to make that sort of customer sharing much, much harder. MCDM is publishing a TTRPG where you roll 2d6 to hit. Pathfinder 2nd Edition or Remaster has no alignment and changed ability scores. Oh no! The no alignment? The thing that caused, more like internet arguments than literally anything else about D&D ever? Like, I'm okay with losing this. Critical Role has dropped 5e like a dead cockroach and is playtesting its own new fantasy game, Daggerheart, which uses 2d12s, and a horror game named Candela Obscura. Yeah, like, literally everybody hates the D&D alignment thing. Even people who say they like alignment are just lying to you. And thank you for trying out the change hairstyle there, Ari. I think it looks really good. This is usually on the Pandora model, but I think it works. Literally no one cares about alignment. Because, like, nobody plays, like, chaotic evil all the time.
I'm gonna go look now.
Oh no, let me introduce you to Fabula Ultima that has themes of anime, the horror. I legit have seen Pathfinder D&D players wish death on anime fans, but here's Fabula Ultima, and break. Right, literally, this person is trying to just furiously wanks some life back into D&D, and then goes and mentions another system that is probably better. And of course, there is the Rising Godzilla that is 6th edition D&D, which scientists say will attack our shores in the spring of 2024. There is no hint of an OGL for whatever that game will be. The problem is, 5e was not just a game. It was a massive community of players. Countless companies could thrive making products for that community. And it's not even about stories, it's about products. This person doesn't care about the hobby, they care about the money being made. These new games are a shattering of that community. Instead of countless companies working to make your 5e game better, they are now asking you to become MCDM or Darrington Press.
Good little sub.
My goodness. Valdrate, thank you for giving 3 months of Tier 1 to Cantaloupe. That's really cool. Cute. Yeah, enjoy the ad-free viewing, the emotes, the free sounds, and being an arsonist. I say enjoy the emotes. You made them, so honestly, you should be able to use them. I really appreciate you. Where the fuck was I with this, like, absolute wankery? We are entering an era of division, faction, and balkanization. Oh boy. I wonder who's trying to start the era of division, faction, and balkanization. Honestly, that particular emote there, is like the heart, is like, honestly, I see that like everywhere in like all of my friends use it, and like even when I'm not around, I just like, and that's something that like makes me feel really happy. Like you can tell people that like, hey, like all of this person's friends use the emotes that I made for them, and like it's good marketing. I always point people in your direction. It's me specifically. The companies are now asking fans to choose sides. It almost means it is going to become more difficult for them to share customers. How interested will a Pathfinder fan be in an MCDM product? Or a 6th edition? History suggests these sort of barriers depress sales. All this has happened before. Here he takes the opportunity to capitalize each of the words. And offers like no period here. He's trying, like, it's like he's trying to make this into a fucking YouTube video. Here's where the big splashy title screen would be. Oh, aren't you going to try and make this into a YouTube video later? Yes, that doesn't make me a hypocrite. Fuck you. In the 1990s, TSR, the first company to publish Dungeons & Dragons, embarked on publishing setting after setting after setting for the game. By 1997, over a dozen settings were sold by the company. Fans stopped being fans of D&D and instead became fans of a particular setting and would only buy products in that setting. In 1997, TSR was near death as settings releases had plummeted from hundreds of thousands of copies in the 1980s to a mere 7,152 copies sold for the Birthright campaign in its first year of release. D&D was only saved from a terrible fate by Wizards of the Coast and their fat stacks of cash. They purchased TSR in the summer of 1997. Or Lith be like a nerd. I don't want to play into stereotypes, I'm just going through voices I happen to know. It was going more for like, I don't know, Barney the Dinosaur or something. Look at all, I know, there's so much. Could I be playing that Vuvuzela nerd or whatever?
Some might say it's unfair to compare the different settings of the 90s to the different systems of today. Settings and systems are different after all, and I do agree with the point. Switching systems is a bigger ask than switching settings, therefore this change should have a larger impact on sales. And it is all happening again. The TTRPG audience is fracturing at the seams, and it will hurt sales and growth.
Like, literally, this is just like copy pasting and then like chewing it up like into a thesaurus and spitting it back out. Did ChatGPT write this?
To focus only on MCDM, this current backer kit is likely the most successful campaign the company will ever see. Every campaign after this will struggle to get the same sort of sales number, as people slowly bleed away to the competition. Heiser will say, check out our competing fantasy game. Wizards of the Coast will batter us all with a punishing wave of marketing, trying to convince us all of the newness and hotness of D&D 6th edition.
Changing voices. May it be both new and hot, but I have my doubts, and fans will bleed away. Furthermore, what will happen to the YouTube channel that is the foundation of MCDM's success? Matt Colville is a master communicator and was a major evangelist for D&D in his channel's heyday. He's passionate, intelligent, and inspiring. If Dungeon Masters could go into the locker room and get a pep talk from their coach in the middle of a game of D&D, that coach would be Matt Colville. How much time is Colville going to devote to D&D now that it is essentially his competition? In the past year, he has put out less than 20 videos on his channel. Those videos now range widely in topic, from TV reviews and interviews with language scholars to some D&D content, the discussion of the creation of his new RPG. Go back 5 years, and Colville is putting out video after video after video. Why the need for like the triple, like in every single one of these instances? A fantastic advice about running D&D, usually with 5e as the default. He dispensed some of the best advice on TTRPGs I've ever seen, but it appears his content is fundamentally shifting, and he is asking his audience to listen somewhere new. Let's look at MCDM's recent efforts. Okay. This is all just the same bullshit here. After you finish reading this dumb shit, I raise you some cursed shit in Discord TMs. Thank you. So basically, he is claiming that all of this, we're gonna fast forward to a bit, and so a golden age sputters out, unless something truly dramatic and game-changing hits the industry. What could change this grim future? I suppose a group of publishers coalescing around a single system might change matters, or something truly inconceivable, something like giving 6th edition D&D an OGL, or putting the rules in the Creative Commons. And after last month's blood sacrifices upon the altar of profitability, who is even left at Wizards with the power and experience to advocate for such a thing? It has been a grand era to be a gamer, one we have been fortunate enough to live through. So, is tabletop role-playing dead? No. Like, that's Simpsons comic book guy is real and he's on Facebook. Oh my god, right? Like, this was just absolutely... Like, yeah, this is somebody who has never lived through one of these, like, so-called collapses of golden ages that he's referring to. This is like somebody who, yeah, he is seeing the death of his god, and he thinks that that is the end of the world as he knows it. Like, clearly this is somebody who is very, like, emotionally invested in Dungeons and Dragons as a whole. And that's fine. It's okay to like Dungeons and Dragons. It's a fine system. But the problem is, people have played Dungeons and Dragons for many decades now at this point. Hell, when was the original Dungeons and Dragons? When was the first Dungeons and Dragons game? 1974. So for almost half a century, people have been playing D&D in some form or another. It's changed hands, it's changed intellectual, properties. Different minds have come up with new settings and brought all sorts of stuff to the genre, because D&D is practically its own genre at this point. And here's the thing, you can only do so much with D&D. I know so many people are like, but Lola, there's D&D Modern. There's, all of these other variations. There's Starfinder. There's like, let's take it to all of these new places. Right? Like, that was the thing. He literally mentions that, like, he keeps mentioning product. He doesn't mention ideas. He doesn't mention collaborating. Like, he only references community through the lens of product. He thinks that if Wizards of the Coast goes under, then D&D dies. Like, the IP will change hands. It will get sold on to other people. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll collapse. Maybe other people will then start playing it, because who's left to sue them? Who's left to worry about making products? As the oak tree falls, a hole in the canopy appears. The ancient dead trunk that has rotted from within will be the birthplace of whole new microcosms of life. You've never purchased third-party freelancer D&D content, right? D&D is like, D&D is but one star in the galaxy that is that is the cosmos of RPGs, and it doesn't fit. There are so many different RPGs out there that you can play, and like just because one of them isn't making a shit ton of like big IP that you can glom onto and give your life meaning, that doesn't mean that TTRPGs are going away. But this is his thing. This right here betrays his real interest. I wonder if this person actually has shares in Wizards of the Coast, because this is it. The frequency of $1 million TTRPG Kickstarters will decrease. Attendance at major gaming conventions will plateau. Gives a shit. I would love a Dwarf Fortress tabletop role-playing game. Yeah, like there are so many RPGs that will take its place. People are making their own. People will continue to make their own. There are all sorts out there, and so many that are better suited to the types of genres that people want to play. The Savage Lands RPGs, they go through all sorts of different settings. You've got Deadlands. You've got a whole bunch of different genres that hang on, that's Savage Lands. Savage Worlds. Yeah, the Savage Worlds RPG system. It goes through so many different things. You've got the Wild Hunt. You've got Slipstream. You've got Deadlands. It goes through all sorts of various different. There's one for like people with superpowers and shit. I don't think he's even looked at, like, for example, the D&D Reddit page. Yeah, so many people will just make their own like third-party content just to make it, not to even sell it, but to like make a community and to share their ideas, just to have a community to get their brain children out there, and they never ask for a penny. There's the Powered by the Apocalypse system, which can do so many different things because it's flexible. Its rule system is very basic, but at the same time you can bolt on so much extra stuff. You can make space exploration. You can make Wild West stuff. You can make Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff, like with Monster of the Week. You can make a game that's basically Revolutionary Girl Utena. They have. It's called Thirsty Sword Lesbians, and it's basically Powered by the Apocalypse with ladies that have swords, and it includes trans people, which is great. There's the Fate RPG system, You know, the Fate RPG system is also very like nebulous in like the basics of its rules, but you can bolt so much onto there. You can make a Fallout RPG system. You can make a Dresden Files RPG system if you want. I've seen it. There's like the very basics of it allow for so many good things. If you want modern stuff, there are so many different iterations of the cyberpunk genre. You've got Cyberpunk 2020, 2077. You have Cyberpunk Red. You've got the Shadowrun systems. You have, if you're looking for something that's just like super casual, something that you want to play in between other RPGs, you know what? There's Kobolds Ate My Baby, which just went through a new Kickstarter. You get to play the dumb, shitty cannon fodder that usually gets stomped in like other dungeons, and they're going to steal a baby to eat it, or to bring it back to their leader, King Torg. I know there's at least one person in chat who knows how to react to that name. But yeah, this. Like, this is one of the examples of the character sheet. This is another one. It fits on a bar napkin. All hail King Torg. Yes. Yeah, this is one of the examples of the character sheet. It's fantastic. It's small. It fits in like such a just small thing. I loved like running that game for you. It was it's still one of my favorite like RPG memories. Yeah, whenever I finish an RPG, I run a game of Kobolds Ate My Baby as a palate cleanser. Just something silly to like wash away the previous game so that I can then prepare for something else. I think you're right about the stock thing. Like, I feel like someone who's actually embedded in the community couldn't know about any of these subset games. Right. They talk about them in the abstract, but then say that, oh, they'll never rise to the same level as like D&D 6th edition, or like it'll never have the same public recognition of like 5e. Who gives a shit? Who cares if your favorite like corporate sugar daddy is still the biggest tree in the forest? Exactly, and that's something else that I was going to bring up. One of my favorite RPG systems that's still going strong in the background, Demon the Descent. Do you like story-based games? Do you like urban fantasy? Do you identify with the idea of masquerading as a human who does human things in front of the mainstream public, all whilst worrying about the fact that you might be shunned if people figure out who you really are? Do you want to have like awesome Matrix-style powers and have a fearsome monster inside of you that you play as at night that helps overthrow the infrastructure of an oppressive deity? Then Demon the Descent may very well be for you. And I could go on about that a lot, because we're going to stream that, and it's going to be great. But like, just because your corporate RPG isn't going to do as well, doesn't mean that you can't still get together with your friends, and that you can't start a podcast or a YouTube series or whatever. It's like, you can still do that media, and if it's interesting enough, people will want to know how it's played. And here's the thing about Wizards: if they couldn't still be successful while owning one of the single biggest IPs ever in the past 50 years, if they could take that and they could fuck it up, why would you still be loyal to them? If they show that they are so unworthy that they cannot make Dungeons and Dragons successful anymore, then they are unworthy of your admiration. So find a group of friends, get together some dice, and just have a nice game. of "Oh Dang, Bigfoot Stole My Car" with my friend's birthday present inside.